Hey everyone, thank you for joining. My name is Brennan. I'm the founder and owner at Newaya. And today we're talking about Newaya's various trade-in payment methods that carriers can use to pay customers for trade-in devices and how those compare to the trade-in payment methods that other vendors use in the marketplace of trade-in. So we'll get started here. So for anyone that's not familiar with Newaya and hasn't encountered us before, I started Newaya in 2010 in Fort Collins, Colorado. So we've been running for almost 12 years now. We serve cellular carriers and the enterprise and education markets, like the IT departments at companies and schools. For all kinds of buyback needs, we serve trade-in software and services to carriers and buyback solutions for enterprise and education. We will process about 30,000 devices in 2022 out of our office in Fort Collins, and we've got 8 employees. 6 of those are here in Fort Collins. We've got a couple remote contractors, and everyone on the team has been with Newaya for over a year at this point. So I'm really fortunate to have a great group of folks in the business with me that have all been around for a long time. So we're a tight-knit, creative group that try and solve interesting problems in the trade-in space. So there are basically 2 services that we offer for carriers and for other businesses that we offer trade-in solutions to. And one is our fully featured turnkey trade-in program, which is a piece of software that runs on the retail stores at a carrier's, on the computers in the retail stores at a carrier's locations, and on their website for online trade-in. And this is a fully featured trade-in program that Newaya offers that we've got several carrier members on and have been on. We've been running this program for 5 or 6 years now. And then we also offer inventory liquidation to carriers and at various organizations as well. And that's where we're purchasing overstock, damaged handsets, end-of-life handsets, accessories that are overstock or at end of life, and providing these liquidation services. And so we run both services. Most of this webinar will focus on our trade-in program, but I do want to mention for folks on the call that are new to our business that we provide both of these services. We're very excited to work with carriers on either side of the business, and we certainly do frequently. So with that, here are some of the carriers that we've worked with for years who run our trade-in program in their retail stores and potentially on their website. They may use our widget to accept trade-ins online. We've worked with Viaero, Inland Cellular, Copper Valley Telecom, Docomo Pacific out in Guam, and Silver Star Communications. We've worked with all these folks for years, and if you're interested, we'd be happy to provide a point of contact at any of these organizations. You can ask them what their experience has been like working with us, but we really appreciate their business, and we've worked with them for a while. So these are folks that are running our trade-in program, that turnkey software. And then a few of the folks that we've worked with from an inventory liquidation standpoint are the carriers you see here: C Spire, GCI, Verizon, Rogers. We've participated in these folks' auctions on trade-in handsets and other overstock and stuff like that for years and years. And similarly, we happy to provide point of contact information if you're curious about what these folks' experiences have been like doing business with Newaya. But we've been around in this trade-in industry for a long time, have a lot of experience, and try and uphold a great reputation as a trade-in vendor with all the folks we work with. So today we're talking about trade-in payments and financing, which is specifically part of this trade-in software that I mentioned that we offer. So Newaya's trade-in program allows carriers to choose several different methods of financing the trade-ins that come in through the retail stores and online. And so there are just various different options that you can offer. Most trade-in vendors, the folks that we compete with out in the trade-in marketplace, they will typically have the carrier pay for the trade-ins however they want to. And then when the vendor receives the trade-ins at the end of the month, that's when they pay the carriers back for these items that get received. And Newaya can do things like that. That's one of our options. But we have several funded payment options that go, I think, above and beyond the standard trade-in payment model where the carrier is paying for the devices. And the value of these funded payment options is a couple fold. One of them is that these options are really flexible, and they allow carriers to create their own programs on top of. So it's almost like a white labeled trade-in program where you can use the money for whatever you want, and use it in creative ways to get the customer different values. And the value of these trade-ins is not sitting on the carrier's books. So for carriers we work with that are smaller and their CFO or their accounting department don't want to store the value of all the trade-ins that they're taking in on a daily basis on their books, they'd rather put that on the trade-in provider. This is an option that we provide, is these funding options for trade-ins. So I'm going to talk about each of the options that we have. Our most popular one is a virtual credit card, a system that we've established in our trade-in software that allows carriers to literally, when the associate is going through the process of taking in the trade-in from the customer, at the end of the process, this is one of the options, this card can display on the screen, and the associate can literally take the numbers off of that card, run the card through the point of sale system, and apply those credits to the customer's account with the carrier, or to take off to make a down payment on their upcoming equipment installment plan if they're upgrading to a new device. There are various options, or the accounting team at the carrier can use this virtual card to apply that credit, and so it's not visible to the associate. Really, either option works. But the idea here is that this is a card that is financed entirely by Newaya. And so the value of these trade-ins at the point of transaction at the retail store are being loaded onto Newaya's books rather than the carriers. And we work with carriers that we trust. We extend this program to carriers that we trust because this is working on our credit, but it's an option for the carrier to not have, which usually the CFOs get excited about this, or folks in finance and accounting, that the trade-in values are not going to be held on the carrier's books when this program is used. And like I mentioned, it's incredibly flexible. This is a card that is just the value of the trade-in is coming from Newaya's card line. And so that card value can be used for anything that the carrier wants. We've worked with carriers that use this as a down payment on the equipment installment plan. So when a customer comes in and upgrades their device, they have to bring in a trade-in, and the trade-in value that Newaya is paying just gets paid to that equipment installment plan like a down payment, thereby reducing the customer's monthly installments. Or you could use it as an accessory bundle. So the carrier could put together an accessory bundle, that has a stated value of much more than the trade-in value, but it's an option when the customer is upgrading. So you can get creative with this program because it's effectively, it can be white labeled so the customer is not seeing it. It's not a payment that's going direct to the customer. It's going direct to the carrier, and the carrier can use that payment however they want to distribute those funds, either to the customer's account, to their installment plan, to an accessory bundle. Your marketing teams can get creative with this, and we can customize the program to fit whatever accounting solution or logistics of accounting you need. So that's our virtual credit card system. And again, if anybody's got any questions, feel free to put them in the live chat here. I'll read them out and answer them as we go along. So that's our virtual credit card solution. The next thing I want to talk about is a digital debit card. So we worked on this for a while and built in a digital debit card fulfillment solution into our trade-in software. And what that means is if you as a carrier are setting up this trade-in program and you want to offer for your associates at the retail level to offer to customers that are trading in their device, Newaya will email, if the customer's name and email is put in and this payment option is chosen, Newaya will directly email the customer a digital debit card. And that card is pretty much, so it'll be for, say you bring in an iPhone 10, the value of that iPhone 10 is $125, $150. That $150 is then emailed on a digital debit card. So the customer gets an email in their inbox immediately. It's instant. And they can use that card and load it into either an Apple or Android wallet. So they can, of course, they get a card number that they can use online for online purchases, but they also can use that locally. And we used to run a physical debit card program, and we saw lots of customers like to use these cards at convenience stores, at local grocery stores, and stuff like that. But unfortunately, the fulfillment of these physical cards when they expire can be really difficult. So we cut that problem out of this mix and made it digital. But the digital cards now, in today's world, can still be loaded onto an Apple or Android wallet. So the customer can take that card that they just get via email instantly, they can load it into their wallet, and they can go spend that money however they want. So this is another payment method that is totally funded and financed by Newaya. The funds are coming out of Newaya's account at the point of trade-in transaction, and then Newaya is just paying the carrier a commission once it receives the device, and it does have to receive the device because it's paying for those devices at the point of transaction. But this is entirely managed by Newaya, and the carrier doesn't have to do any setup or establishment of this program or logistics or overhead management or anything. This is all built into Newaya's trade-in software platform. And so this ability to pay customers with a digital debit card is just another one of the options in the payment methods kind of array of options that we have. So that's the digital debit card. And lastly, we still offer this kind of conventional internal credit where the carrier can handle payment methods however they want internally, apply the credit that Newaya is signing up to and saying that the value of the trade-in. The carrier can apply that to the customer's account. They can apply that to the installment plan, however your accounting team wants to internally. And then what happens here is, since Newaya hasn't paid for that trade-in at the point of the retail transaction, then Newaya pays for it at the end of the month. So we generate these reports every month. If the trade-ins are being paid for by Newaya at the point of transaction, then Newaya is just paying commission at the end of the month. If the payments for the trade-ins are being financed by the carrier via this internal credit option, then Newaya is paying for both the trade-in value. So if the trade-in is $150, Newaya is paying the $150 for the trade-in and the 10% commission that we pay to carriers, that $15 on a $150 trade-in. So we'd pay $165 at the end of the month plus our Rep Rewards program. But that's the above and beyond. We don't need to get into that today. So the internal credit is just a standard option that we think many of our other competitors offer, and is their primary option for paying. And we still offer it because it's very, very flexible, and there are no credit terms that need to be discussed or anything like that. So this is an option for carriers that want to get started quickly, already are familiar and are comfortable financing those trade-ins that come in, and then Newaya pays for them once we receive them. So that is our third and final payment option. I like to put this up here. We've worked with Viaero Wireless for a number of years now, and our point of contact there, Luke Dillie, is the sales operations director and really manages a tight ship across all of their retail stores. And we work with Luke extremely closely to build out creative programs. So when Viaero comes to us and has a unique kind of promotion that they want to build trade-in into, or a way that they want to run trade-in maybe a little differently than they've been in their retail stores, we get really excited and work with them on custom solutions to fit their business needs. And we do that for all the carriers that we work with. But we've got this great quote from Luke, so I like to share that here as well. And that is it for this webinar, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Again, my name is Brennan. I'm the founder and CEO at Newaya. If you've got any questions, there's my email and my phone number. You can reach out to me at any point in time. We would love to schedule a one-on-one demo with you if you'd like to see Newaya's trade-in software kind of step through quickly, on a direct call, and we can answer any questions for you then. Otherwise, on these webinars every week, I try and share a little piece of our trade-in program and just a bit about how we compare to the competitors in the marketplace. So if anybody's got any questions for today's webinar, I'll wait for just a second if they show up in the chat. And if not, I'll let everyone get off to their weekend. So thanks for joining. Looks like nothing in the chat. So thank you everyone for your time. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week in the next webinar. Take care.